Hey guys, giving you a little bit of a peek kind of where I'm at today. This is a sweet little spot, but it is still raining a lot. There was a storm coming in on the Philippines and hasn't let up, but this place is beautiful. Giant hotel though. Just wanted to chat a little bit about some of my thoughts. One thing I was kind of mentioning yesterday on my stream was that Bitcoin trends have really come up, and I kind of wanted to show that to you because I thought this was kind of interesting. So here, when we're looking at interest by region, there's I'm not sure exactly what some of these statistics are in terms I don't know what the 100 is, but this is just showing some of the, I guess it's interest over time. Maybe we can get some numbers. Represent search interest relative to the highest point on the chart for any given region in time. A value of 100 is the peak popularity for the term. Value of 50 means the term is half as popular. Score of 0 means there was not enough data for this term. Okay, so that's the way they're looking at this, and it's been peaking, especially here November 19th. Gosh, they even have this broken down even more. It's in this district, or is really kind of spiked in this district. Interesting to kind of look through some of these. You can kind of look through some of the related topics. Interesting to see Paxful on there. I've got an account with them, Coinbase. They do have Remitano. Remitano is the #1 way to buy and sell cryptocurrency in Vietnam. And it's interesting to see that they also have it set up in Nigeria here as well. And I think you can see here right on the top, I mean, one of the notices has been the Bitcoin Cash. So they're kind of showing how they're absolving some of this. But I think what's interesting when we look, let's go back a little bit. So if we're looking at the, geez, big ass group just came through here. If we're looking at the overall interest, you can see these 4 countries where it's been peaking are all in Africa. So you have Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, and St. Helena. I didn't know where St. Helena was, so I had to look it up. It's this island region kind of off of Africa. So I guess that's tiny, tiny little island. Look at that. But that's how they have this set up here. And if we're looking at some of the related queries, overall it's been the Bitcoin Cash fork. This initiative queue, it's interesting to see that on there. Because I've been approached by that. That's been something that's been trending in the crypto space lately. Craig Wright, the fork. So this has been the big thing that we've kind of been seeing if we're looking at Google Trends, which I think is kind of interesting because if you're looking at the dips in the market, because what we see here, if we're looking at the overall interest, there was a big dip here on the 15th, and there was a big interest here on the 20th. So this is just the past 30 days. Now, just to give you a little bit of kind of a macro picture, we can see the Google Trends over here, where this was much, much higher, during that peak, which was kind of the late November, early December, and you can kind of see this little uptick, just this little uptick right here. So some of that interest, it seems to be due to what we're kind of seeing, with these crashes that we've seen lately. So if we take a look, we can see here, November 14th, and as soon as the market crashed, where it came down to kind of the 180, 70 billion mark, that kind of happened at that same time. And then if we look at November 20th, it dropped again. And so we had another dip right here. And so this is kind of where people have really been hurting. We saw just even another one right here where there's, again, another 5 days. So these 5-day increments, 3 times, boom, boom, boom. And I think that's kind of interesting to see because of just kind of based on some of the Google search trends. Because one of the biggest theories was that it had to do with Bitcoin Cash fork, but it had to do with some of the biggest whales in Bitcoin perhaps selling to fund some of those wars. So, Craig Craig Wright has been the guy that's kind of been in the limelight. You can see on Google Trends, like he's, in terms of, right now, he's one of the top trending topics. And it's interesting. You can kind of break this out. So like in the last 5 years, you can see the related topics here. Ethereum, Dogecoin, IOTA, Monero, Poloniex, Ethereum, kind of the biggest queries. But this is looking over the last 5 years. So if we change this to the last 30 days, and we look at the queries, it's Craig Wright. And, he's a controversial character. I think one of the things about him is one of his claims is that he's got gigantic stores of Bitcoin. And one of the leading theories was that him, along with perhaps Roger Ver, were selling off to fund the Bitcoin Cash, hash wars that we had seen recently. And this kind of an early when that fork happened was important to kind of establish, I guess a foothold in the market. So the SV, Satoshi's Vision, which is Craig Wright's kind of fork off of the Bitcoin Cash. If we're looking at kind of the original, Bitcoin Cash figure was Roger Ver. And so I think a lot of people, at least initially when the fork happened, a lot of valuation went into that project, and it was kind of up to the Satoshi Vision project to kind of make up the difference. And so that's kind of, a guy that has, this may be one of the biggest whales in the world in terms of Bitcoin, selling off, maybe in 5-day increments, selling off huge stores of Bitcoin. And that's having its effect, kind of a ripple effect on the market, where the entire market as a whole is really coming down because of the dominance that we're currently seeing with Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin dominance has, over this entire year has been kind of more in like the 30s range, I want to say. Whereas lately, it's crossed over that 50 mark. Let's take a look at the last year. So traditionally it was much higher. During that peak time in December, we saw it, around 65 or so. It really kind of dipped down where it was at like 30s, kind of in the 30s, climbed during this kind of recessionary time right here where we saw kind of a big crash. It was starting to build a little bit more in this area, and it has come back up. So if, the market cap is held with like 50% or more of the trading volume and the activity in the market is kind of going through Bitcoin, and you have a guy like Craig Wright who's has kind of claimed that he has the ability to kind of crash the market, and perhaps has some of the maybe incentives to really push his project and really kind of make that go. It's very possible that he had a very large influence on why we're seeing the market as low as it is. But let me check on the chat a little bit. What's going on, Gandhi? Casey, Crypto Pirate AI. It's a tax haven where you can buy cheap sailboats. If Bitcoin is trending in Africa, China's probably behind it. So the way that the trends work is just relative to its previous position. Let me see if I can get some better statistics here. Okay. So what it's saying in its rules is that the 50% mark is like the average. So if it's below 50%, it's actually trending, less than it has been, relative to the rest of the year. But this is, we can kind of go down the list. I think it's interesting to kind of take a look at some of these countries. So right here, we're getting in that 50% mark. So, but it's high in Singapore, Switzerland, Austria, some of these tax havens, Slovenia, Malaysia. Let's take a look. Australia, Ireland, Germany, Venezuela, Pakistan. So you have to really go down the list to kind of get to the U.S. Whereas the U.S. is in the 23rd position, behind Hong Kong, Lithuania. So Philippines, and then you start kind of moving down the list. you know, if you go by, you can break this down. Let's go back. Because since most of my audience is in the US, let's take a look at the US. The US, again, those time when we were kind of seeing the interest is relative to those crash. It's much, much higher in California and Hawaii. What was at the top of the list? It was Nigeria. And Nigeria is kind of an interesting one. So, like, this was an article I was kind of looking at. It's this is essentially their new president of the People's Democratic Party of Nigeria, and he has had a stance that he wants to have a comprehensive way to, you know, establish a regulatory framework. So we're seeing, you know, this is perhaps having something to do with some of the criminal activity in those areas. So this is something, another article I was kind of looking at. But again, like, we're meant to know as strong as a hold as this has in Vietnam, as far as its popularity and ease of use. And this was also trending if we look at, if we dive into Nigeria a little bit, and kind of see, like, you know, it's interesting to kind of look through these. Let's take a look at California just before we kind of zoom back out. Silicon Valley area is much, much higher. Eureka, California, stockcharts.com, crash computing, checks.io, hash function, but still primarily kind of the Bitcoin Cash fork. That's what's really has been kind of the bigger trending topic. Let's see if I can zoom back out, back up a little bit. Worldwide, let's go last 90 days. At least it's going to give us a little bit more of a, again, it's Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, St. Helena. It's the same countries, so much, much higher in these regions. If we click on Nigeria and we kind of look, you know, mining pools, Perfect Money, Zappo, which is a credit card, online wallet. So becoming much, much more popular there. This is Bitcoin exchanges, Luno, local Bitcoins. These are some of the ways to kind of transact, Changely. Country has artificially supported the price of the Naira from March 2015 for more than a year, despite a drop in oil prices and the country's foreign reserves. So, interesting. Thanks to platforms and restrictions faced by citizens while using traditional currency. The fact that users can easily purchase or sell Bitcoin in Nigeria with the help of bank transfers or debit cards, make payments for international purchases, transactions among each other, growing acceptability. So, interesting to see. Necessity driving adoption. Third world countries might bring mass adoption. Who would have ever thought of that? There's less of a kind of a regulatory risk, for one. Yeah, that's a good point. Crypto Dad talking about essentially using VPNs. I don't see a whole lot of, I don't necessarily see people running VPNs through Nigeria. Perhaps if you had large groups of hackers, but I would say they're much, much lower in numbers compared to kind of what we've been seeing there. So the one program that I went to Bali at, the Fintegri, was doing like large workshop operations in Nigeria. So like I have my issues with that platform. Part of it has just kind of been like I don't really believe they're saying or doing what they say they're doing, and so I feel you know, I should you know, maybe do something, step in, you know, probably add some of my thoughts and perspectives for people that are new to cryptocurrency, that don't fully understand, you know, maybe what they should be looking for, should or should not be looking for, and you know, but there's huge numbers in those countries and much smaller amounts or transactions, so it's not like, you know, a bunch of millionaires or whatever getting in. It's becoming more of a seeing more adoption, and part of that has to do with the inefficiencies of their local currencies. Yeah, to the developed world, crypto dApps are looked at as games. In some countries, they're much more than just a game. Good insights, Gandhi. If right is crashing the markets, then the BTC chart TA won't follow previous patterns, and BTC might fall through the 2015 all-time high of 1,200 instead of a bounce. You know, because I'm in crypto, it's hard to be that bearish when I'm looking at price, because I'm just kind of naturally pro crypto. So it's hard for me to really conceive of prices that low. I mean, we saw though, when we're looking at the lowest of the low, this hit like 114 billion in the market cap not too long ago. So let's zoom in a little bit, last 7 days. Right here, look at that, like I thought I saw like 114. I guess it's dipped down to like 115. So it's currently at 129. Is this the lowest of the low? You know, or are we going to see another drop in 5 days? You know, if we're looking at patterns and perhaps, you know, something's happening behind the scenes. You know, we've seen the 15th, the 20th, and the 25th pretty consistently in those 5-day patterns. We've seen it kind of drop off. So right now, the 26th, and maybe another 4 days. So when we get closer to November 30th, maybe we're going to see another drop. Who knows? Hasn't been a whole lot of an upward trend though, and that's, I think, worrisome. There hasn't been a whole lot of buyers, people wanting to get in at these low prices. Maybe everyone's kind of waiting for a bottom. You know, volumes have increased. Let's take a look at the last month. Zooming out. I mean, volumes have increased that we're looking in the last month, especially in these dips. There. Boom. And again, we're kind of seeing a wave and a wave and a wave of volume. Something we haven't really seen if we zoom out the last 3 months. I'll let it load here. It's taking so long. Three months. There we go. But boom, if we zoom out the last 3 months, we can see that this has just been brutal. Absolutely brutal drop. Where, you know, we had seen over the last 3 months a lot of consistency right over 200. You know, boom, we saw a drop. You know, you're seeing a lot more. Like it really takes a long time for these to really build up, and then we see boom, it drops off. A lot of volatility. But this is the most volume that we've seen lately. Let's take a look at the last year. Volumes were higher, 60, let's look at the 24-hour volume at around 60 billion at its peak, but kind of holding in the 40s and 50s. We're currently, you know, in the 20s, teens and 20s. So. Yeah, but I was going to go on this, we're going to go on this ride, but it has been, this storm is just not letting up. See if I can get like a better viewpoint. I'm liking this city. It's just been nasty weather the entire time we've been here. It's really beautiful though. But this is this Vin Pearl building. It's like a 5-star hotel. Lost internet there for a sec. You were here in the Trang back in '69? Yeah, there's been a lot of development here. But it's raining, so everyone's inside. I've got a friend in crypto in Nigeria I've been talking with. Might be an interesting trip at some point. Head out there, see what the crypto scene is like. I'm staying around the corner. It's like 13 bucks a night. It's great. It's perfect. We've been staying there. So I'm gonna do a video of it when we're about to leave. I'm not sure when we're gonna leave yet. If you want like an American breakfast, you want like, you know, just fruit, like maybe like an omelet or something like that. Like one of the best things to do is just to come to these hotels and just get, you know, just get the buffet breakfast. You know, you're paying as an outsider, but I do that a lot. Like I'll stay in stay in the 4-star hotel, but go to the 5-star hotel, or, you know, stay in the, you know, we're staying in like an apartment right now, and you know, just go to the 4- and 5-star hotels and, you know, get breakfast, kind of, you know, have food at the bar. Just stay in Droppel. I haven't had a reason to get out, but it has really dropped. You know, when there's blood in the streets, typically it's not when you want to get out. It's up 10% today. But lately it's been dipping. But volumes have been up. Volumes have been up consistently since June. So a good 6 months of activity. You know, I still think that this is a good consolidation time, a good time to get in. And you know, I've been stacking up myself. The price, let's take a look at the price. I mean, one of the reasons why it's down so much is because it's tied to Ethereum. But like the Ethereum price hasn't suffered too much. You know, like I've been buying in around these numbers, more like maybe 13, 14. But I think in the bullish times, if we're taking a look at price, it was, let's see if I can get this in. I was hoping to get the Ethereum price. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it. Can't remember how to do this. No. But let's maybe try the drop to Ethereum. That's going to look at the exchange. Yeah. Took it out 2 weeks ago, put it in ARB. I know a lot of people are going into ARB. Let's take a look at the ARB price. I know it was higher a little bit earlier. Now this is looking at Coin Exchange, so you gotta take a look at that. Like, let me see here. Let me pull this up on my Telegram. They have the Telegram bot, which you can get, which, so this is the internal price exchange. So we've seen around 350, 360. It had jumped up a little bit now. It's at about $4. I'm kind of looking at the Ethereum price. You know, at its peak, we had seen this at like the 0.05 Ethereum price. So, like, I mean, I'm a ARB holder, so I'm a little bit different than, say, a lot of people that are getting into ABOT. There's different ways of getting into some of these platforms, and for me right now, like, I'm holding more of the coins. It's a little bit more liquidity in case I needed it to maybe jump into something I think's got some potential if I'm wanting to get a little bit risky. But you know, it isn't always the best play because of, you know, what has just recently happened, where the market's really kind of tanked and come down. Had I gotten into ABOT or Rex with NovaChain or DEX with Dropple, I would have retained perhaps some of the, well, I guess not with Dropple, but I would have retained some of the dollar valuation that it would have had in that platform. So it kind of acts like Tether in a way, or a stable coin, because it's tying it to a fiat value. So you're not as affected by some of these dips in the market. So, I mean, I can be a little bit more risky. Like, I don't have kids. This poor little girl. But I don't have a family to support, so I don't have to deal with that. Got in at $1.40, $1.70. Man, you timed it just about right. Arbprice.com. Yeah, that's a good one. Thanks, Crypto Dad. Oh. So, see more of the charting. This is kind of what I was talking about. The ABOT stop prices gradually been coming down. I'm kind of waiting for the ABOT price to pass the stop price. We had seen that in the pump. What's going on, Face? Yeah, man, this is what I was showing people earlier, Nigeria. Top 4 countries, all in Africa. Nigeria leading the way. Man, it's just like the rain, it's just will not stop. It's been raining for like a week straight. Packing up shop. Face was on Tick stream for quite a while, man. I was on there when he first got on there. I just basically telling Tick, man, you gotta stop these BitConnect comparisons. They're totally different. He wants to rant about some of his stuff, but I was keying into some of the conversations that you had. So I thought that was an interesting conversation. Hammond. It was good, man. I like some of the information. Ready to go? Come on. Yeah, I was looking into that credit, or well, I guess I haven't looked into the credits thing yet. I'm interested in it. I'm interested in that credits one. Going to Africa soon? When I went last, there was not too much awareness. Well, the way the Google Trends is basically saying it, it's like it's up from where it's been traditionally. So interest is peaking right now. So, and they're kind of tying it to some of the uncertainties with their own currency. I know I'm probably going to lose a signal in here. I think I'm going to got the stream here. All right, guys. Appreciate y'all staying online. I'll catch you on the next one.